For we have thought the longer thoughts, and gone the shorter way, and we have danced to devil's tunes, shivering home to pray, to serve one master in the night, another in the day. Hello my friends, and welcome to the 4th episode of the New Evening Owl podcast. Once again, I am Gallas, the talking foam stone castle of the secret Armada Desert. Today, we will be exploring the near fantastic world of nostalgia, an emotion fought after for understanding since the dawn of humanity. We have used all kinds of tactics to understand this sacred emotion, including secret sand castles with secret outlets off the coast of Spain, and at a sacred dinner table with 6 served dishes to keep the earth slant. I believe the best way to understand this secret molecule in all of us is to understand it through the logos of man, poetry. I hope you have a wondrous time as we explore the depths of nostalgia. Enjoy!
In the rain, in the rain, in the rain, in the rain in Spain. Does it rain in Spain? Oh yes, my dear, on the contrary, and there are no bullfights. The dancers dance in long white pants. It isn't right to dance your aunts. Come uncle, let's go home. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the fart is. Come, let us fart in the home. There is no art in a fart. Still a fart may not be artless. Let us fart an artless fart in the home. Democracy, democracy. Bill says democracy must go. Go democracy. Go, go, go. Bill's father would never knowingly sit down at table with a Democrat. Now Bill says democracy must go. Go on democracy. Democracy is the shit. Relativity is the shit. Dictators are the shit. Mencken is the shit. Waldo Frank is the shit. The broom is the shit. Data is the shit. Dempsey is the shit. This is not a complete list. They say Isra is the shit. But Isra is nice. Come, let us build a monument to Isra. Good, a very nice monument. You did that nicely. Can you do another? Let me try and do one. Let us all try and do one. Let the little girl over there on the corner try and do one. Come on, little girl. Do one for Isra. Good. You have all been successful children. Now let us clean the mess up. The dial does a monument to Prast. We have done a monument to Isra. A monument is a monument. After all, it is the spirit of the thing that counts.
Is this what you intended, Vincent? That we take our rest at the end of the grove, nestled into our portion beneath the birds' migration, saying, who and how am I made better through struggle? Or why am I inside this empty arboretum, this inward spiral of whoop, ass and vision, the leafy vine twisting and choking the tree? Oh, dear heaven, if you are indeed that, or if you can indeed hear what I might say, heal me and grant me laughter's bounty, of eyes and smiles, of eyes and affection. To not be naive and think of silly answers only, not to imagine answers would be the only destination, nor is questioning color even useful now. Now that the white ray in the distant tree beacons, that the sun can do this to us, every one of us. that the sun can do this to everything inside. The broken light refracted through leaves. What the ancients called peace, no clearer example. What our fathers called the good, what better celebration. Leaves shine in the body and in the head alike. The sun touches deeper than thought. Oh, to be useful, of use, to the actual seen thing, to be in some way related by one's actions in the world. There might be nothing greater than this, nothing truer to the good feelings that vibrate within. Like in the middle of the flower, I call your name, to correspond, to be in equanimity with organic stuff, to toil and to reflect and to home and to paint. Farther and further, the migration of things, the homing action of geese and wood mice, the ample evidence of the sun inside all life seen and felt, and all the atomic pieces too. But felt things exist in shadow. Let us reflect. The darkness bears a shine as yet unpunished by clarity, but perhaps a depth that outshines clarity and is true. The dark is close to doubt and therefore close to the sun. At least what the old books called science or bowed down to. The dark is not evil, for it has indigo and cobalt inside. And let us never forget indigo and the warmth of that. The warmth of the mind reflected in a dark time, in the time of pictures and refracted light. Ah, the sun is here too, in the polar region of night, the animal proximity of another and of nigh. To step into it as into a large surf in late August, to go out underneath it all above us sparkling, to wander and to dream and to look up at it, wondrous and strange companion to all our days, and the toil and worry and animal fear always with us, the night sky, the deep sense of space, actual bodies of light, the gemstone brushstrokes in rays and shimmers, to be held tight, wound tighter in the act of seeing, the sheer vertical act of feeling caught up in it. The sky, the moon, the many heavenly forms, these starry nights alone and connected alive at the edge. Now to think of the silver and the almost blue in pewter, to feel these hues down deep, feel color wax and wane, and yellows are the tonality of work and bread, the deep abiding sun touching down and making its impression, making so much more of itself here than where it signals. The great burning orb installed at the center of each and everything. Isn't it comforting, this notion of each and everything, though nothing might be the final and actual expression of it? That nothing at the center of something alive and burning, green then mint, blue then shale, gray and gray into violet, into luminous dusk, into dust then scattered, now gone. But what is the use now of this narrow ray, this door ajar, the narrow path canopied in dense wood calling? What of the striated purposelessness in lapidary shading and line? To move on, to push forward, to take the next step, to die. The circles grow large and ripple in the hatch marked forever. The circle on the horizon rolling over and over into paint, into the not near, the now far, the distant long-off line of delight. That light was my enemy and one great source of agony, one great solace in paint and brotherhood's sky and grass. The fragrant hills spoke in flowering tones I could hear, the gnarled cut stumps tearing the sky, eating the sun. The gnarled cut stumps tearing the sky, eating the sun. The fragrant hills spoke in flowering tones I could hear, one great solace in paint and brotherhood's the sky and grass. That light was my enemy and one great source of agony, into the not near, the now far, the distant long-off line of delight. the circle on the horizon rolling over and over into paint. The circles grow large and ripple in the hatch marked forever. To move on, to push forward, to take the next step, to die. What of the striated purposelessness in lapidary shading and line? The narrow path canopied in dense wood calling. But what is the use now of this narrow ray, this door ajar? Into luminous dusk, into dust then scattered, now gone. Green then mint, blue then shale, grey and grey into violet. That nothing at the center of something alive and burning, though nothing might be the final and actual expression of it. Isn't it comforting, this notion of each and everything? The great burning orb installed at the center of each and everything, making so much more of itself here than where it signals. The deep abiding sun touching down and making its impression. And yellows are the tonality of work and bread. To feel these hues down deep, feel color wax and wane. Now to think of the silver and the almost blue in pewter. These starry nights alone and connected alive at the edge. The sky, the moon, the many heavenly forms. The sheer vertical act of feeling caught up in it. To be held tight, wound tighter in the act of seeing. The gemstone brushstrokes in rays and shimmers. The night sky, the deep sense of space, actual bodies of light. And the toil and worry and animal fear always with us. Wondrous and strange companion to all our days. To wonder and to dream and to look up at it. To go out underneath it all above and sparkling. To step into it as into a large surf in late August. The animal proximity of another and of nigh. The sun is here too in the polar region of night. In the time of pictures and refracted light. The warmth of the mind reflected in a dark time. And let us never forget indigo and the warmth of that. The dark is not evil, for it has indigo and cobalt inside. At least what the old books called science or bowed down to. The dark is close to doubt and therefore close to the sun. But perhaps a depth that outshines clarity and is true. The darkness bears a shine as yet unfinished by clarity. But felt things exist in shadow. Let us reflect. Inside all life seen and felt, and all the atomic pieces too. The ample evidence of the sun inside all life. The homing action of geese and wood mice. Farther and further. The migration of things. To toil and to reflect and to home and to paint. To correspond, to be in equanimity with organic stuff. Like in the middle of the flower, I call your name. Nothing truer to the good feelings that vibrate within. There might be nothing greater than this. To be in some way related by one's actions in the world. Oh, to be useful, of use, to the actual seen thing. The sun touches deeper than thought. Leaves shine in the body and in the head alike. What our fathers called the good, what better celebration? What the ancients called peace, no clearer example. The broken light refracted through leaves. That the sun can do this to everything inside. That the sun can do this to us, every one of us. Now that the white ray in the distant tree beacons. Nor is questioning color even useful now. Nor to imagine answers would be the only destination. To not be naive and think of silly answers only. Of eyes and smiles, of eyes and affection. Heal me and grant me laughter's bounty. Or if you can indeed hear what I might say. Oh, dear heaven, if you are indeed that. The leafy vine twisting and choking the tree. This inward spiral of whoopers and vision. Or why am I inside this empty arboretum, saying, Who and how am I made better through struggle? Nestled into our portion beneath the birds' migration, that we take our rest at the end of the grove. Is this what you intended, Vincent?
We hope you are enjoying these so far. We feel it's time for a little music break. Here is one of the greatest instrumental pieces in postmodern times. The Art of Silence by Unique. Enjoy. We hope you enjoyed that. That is one of our favorite songs of all time. Now to continue. Here is a recitation of a wonderful self-titled poem by Billy Collins. See you on the next music break.
Remember the 1340s? We were doing a dance called the catapult. You always wore brown, the color craze of the decade. And I was draped in one of those capes that were popular. The ones with unicorns and pomegranates in needlework. Everyone would pause for beer and onions in the afternoon. And at night we would play a game called Find the Cow. Everything was hand-lettered then, not like today. Where has the summer of 1572 gone? Brocade and sonnet. Marathons were the rage. We used to dress up in the flags of rival baronies and conquer one another in cold rooms of stone. Out on the dance floor we were all doing the struggle, while your sister practiced the Daphne all alone in her room. We borrowed the jargon of farriers for our slang. These days language seems transparent, a badly broken code. The 1790s will never come again. Childhood was big. People would take walks to the very tops of hills and write down what they saw in their journals without speaking. Our collars were high and our hats were extremely soft. We would surprise each other with alphabets made of twigs. It was a wonderful time to be alive, or even dead. I am very fond of the period between 1815 and 1821. Europe trembled while we sat still for our portraits. And I would love to return to 191 if only for a moment. Time enough to wind up a music box and do a few dance steps. Or shoot me back to 1922 or 1941, or at least let me recapture the serenity of last month when we picked berries and glided through afternoons in a canoe. Even this morning would be an improvement over the present. I was in the garden then, surrounded by the hum of bees and the Latin names of flowers, watching the early light flash off the slanted windows of the greenhouse and silver the limbs on the rows of dark hemlocks. As usual, I was thinking about the moments of the past, letting my memory rush over them like water, rushing over the stones on the bottom of a stream. I was even thinking a little about the future, that place where people are doing a dance we cannot imagine, a dance whose name we can only guess. This is Daniel Hellmouth. Now here is Orange George narrating another poem titled Perfect Sunset by Robert Long.
Not orange, more tangerine. Shot with LSD, the way Ivy League undergrads used to inject fruit with gin. Lots of people I know claim they can't draw a straight line. Well, I've drawn enough to know that this pink band, smooth as toothpaste smeared across the horizon, is the kind of just right fast gesture that you only hit once in a great while. It's like turning on a faucet and then the floodgates open. And what spills out is almost secondary. The clouds, like the insides of mattresses, slowly make their way below what we call the horizon. Beyond the borders of this page, here is Nostalgia by Tatsuji Miyoshi. My nostalgia is like a butterfly. The butterfly crosses several hedges and sees the sea at a corner of the afternoon street. From the wall I hear the sound of the sea. I close my book and lean against the wall. 2 o'clock strikes in the next room. See, far away. I put down on my paper. See, far away. In the letters we use there is a mother in you. A mother. In the language of the French there is a C in you.
We hope you are having as much fun as we are in this series. I feel it's time for another music break. Here is a song that perfectly fits this occasion. Here is Homesickness Part 2 by an Ethiopian pianist whose name I will certainly butcher, so I won't pronounce this time. We hope you enjoy. To continue where we left off, here is Lord Puppeteers narrating 3 poems for you. They are all dedicated to the very important concept of Hiraeth, a homesickness or nostalgia for a home that you cannot return to, or a home that was never to be. As always, enjoy.
Why is there such sadness in my heart? A loss I know not of, a loss my hurt is well acquainted with. I do wonder if my soul has seen things that my eyes have never seen. I miss a place I can't remember. I wonder if it existed at all. My soul feels old, rooted to the earth. A weeping willow with deep roots, bare branches, reflected in an endless mirror, extending beyond the limitations of time and space. The clock hangs from my neck, perhaps an allegory of the truth that time has made foul play, taken me somewhere I don't belong. I watch the ancient trees that belong to no, experience the calm that nothing else can give. I wonder if I shouldn't have been a tree, rooted to the earth, aiming at the sky. Reflection of a time that won't come back. Nocturne in my ominous dreams. The familiar etchy in my soul. A home I can never remember, but somehow cannot forget. Often catch glimpses of this half-forgotten past. Wonder about the nature of my essence, the age of my soul, the place of my hurt, the name of my home. Find a place where you can be yourself for the day or night. A place where your mind doesn't overthink constantly about whether things are going wrong or right. Find a place that gets your topsy-turvy love life. A place that reminds you you are beautiful the way you are. You don't have to go under a knife. Find a place that soothes down all your worries. A place that doesn't bother how much money you've left in your account and asks you why settle down now. No hurries. Find a place that lets you live life innocently. A place where you don't have to worry about today's headlines or last night's secrets. To live life vivaciously. Find a place that smells like freedom. A place where you can laugh, yell, sing, dance, and doesn't require anyone else's opinion to validate yourself. Find a place where you never limit yourself. A place where you explore your abilities. Create something beautiful and let yourself grow, flow, and truly find yourself. Find a place where you feel secure. A place where you don't have to be scared of the ones that have done you wrong or have hurt you or made you feel impure. Find a place where you can be at peace. A place where you don't have to be cautious of your own actions or be bothered about others labeling you their constant conversation piece. Find a place that makes you fight battles courageously. A place where you finally embrace your flaws. Earn your scars. Learn to live life impulsively. Find a place that keeps prejudices away. A place where no one curses you for your mistakes but helps you realize and learn from them in every way. Find a place that brightens up your everyday. A place where you learn to channel the happiness, sorrow, anger, and freedom, and pain buried deep within you, the right way. But most importantly, find a place where you can love and be loved. And when you finally find that place, hold on to it for ages to come. Cherish each moment you spent there and call it home. Find a place that brightens up your everyday, a place where you learn to channel the happiness, sorrow, anger, and freedom, and pain buried deep within you, the right way. But most importantly, find a place where you can love and be loved. And when you finally find that place, hold on to it for ages to come. Cherish each moment you spent there and call it home.
We hope you enjoyed our gut-wrenching attempt to really dive in the world of nostalgia. I guess I will close off this episode by quoting the great C.S. Lewis. It reads as follows: "There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind." I truly believe that, and you should too. As always, see you next time. Stay safe, be well, and be good to each other.